You know when you think you're ready, you're like, oh, I'm good, no problem, I'm ready to stream, and then someone does something crazy like buys a bunch of memberships. Yeah, yeah. Greetings, my name is Brian. Welcome to KillCo Whiskey Musings. Hey, how's it going? I just spent the past 50 minutes trying to get the outro ready because Patrick Greeny likes to generosity bomb the channel, which I certainly appreciate. but suddenly it's like, I got plenty of time, and then it's, oh god, I have to update the membership outro. Whiskey Uncensored, what are you doing in here? Hello, welcome. Zenbooch, welcome. I should click on names. Another Fancy Pants Parade down KillCo Boulevard. That would be kind of weird if there was a KillCo Boulevard. Andrew Butler, you've been greenied again. Tobias, hello, welcome. I did see you subscribe recently. Hold on. One thing at a time. First of all, Jesus. What the heck? Can I do this? Can I do anything with this? I don't know. Well, I can click on it and do this. I feel like there's something else I can do with it. Let's keep doing this. So that happened, and I had to take all those names that were suddenly added and quickly edit it in Photoshop, which is not easy to do. You'd think it is. It is not. There's a process. Music maestro. I was like, it's too quiet. I can hear the birds. Here we go. Let me know if the music's too loud, too soft, too whatever. I'm ready now. Anyway, I got the membership thing outro done, but barely. Barely. Next time, just ask him. It's like, you, bam. Slapshots Roadhouse, hello. The Whiskey Shaman, let's get poppin'. Well, in this case, it's unscrewing. Edited it, yeah. That's what you do. I edited it. There's me. God. And what was I about to show you guys? Hey, oh yes, there we go. Get out of there. Gotta make sure everything's in the right place. Everything was good. I am really a professional at this. But I will play this since Tobias is here, which is a nice surprise. But replaying. Thank you, Tobias, for joining this chaos. That is my YouTube channel, where we sit and drink whiskey and talk about life and news on everything that exists in the world and beyond. That didn't show. Weird. And of course, thank you, Patrick Greeny, for membership bombing the channel. I always appreciate that's like my favorite thing and biggest fear at the same time. It's like, oh god, I gotta do this thing real fast. Music can come up. My voice, I'm tired. Actually, I haven't fiddled with this at all. I was being very loud for the last stream, so maybe I'm just still tired from that. Who knows? Music. Where are you? There you are. This is the hard part because it has its own rules. There we go. See, I want to hear it, but I don't want to hear it too loud, and I don't want it to pick up on the microphone. It's a bit confusing, since I cannot tell what you're listening to or hearing. You're listening to me and the music. Lucas to Aquavita, what Patrick Greeny is here. Huge super chats and membership donations, right? They could be the same person. We don't know. Nobody knows. Patrick Greeny also donated a bottle to the channel recently, and I just recorded that video yesterday. Yeah, it feels about right. So look forward to those in the future. Editing will be done soon, eventually. I did not ignore you. I said hello right away. I feel it's epic. Some people don't. I said hello. Go back and check the replay. I said hi. I said it very fast, but I said hi. Here, I can't see what I'm doing. There, hi. Boom. Number 8. Ooh, I gotta make sure I have the right. There's a Discord group that this is involved with. This is involved with. And I have to make sure I am there because that is what tells me the heck I'm drinking. I'm gonna scroll myself up to day 8. I don't know why it puts me at the bottom every time. I guess that's normal Discord stuff, putting me at the bottom of the chat. Thankfully it hasn't moved. That would be really annoying. It's only been updated once as of last December. If you're new here, some of you are, what this is there was an advent calendar that was donated to the channel last December. And that is on top of the advent calendar I already had planned for last December. So I had to do one then, which was the Flaviar advent calendar, which is always a nice surprise. Like I'm happy to try those just out of curiosity from what they are doing as a, I don't even know what to call them, but the whiskey selling industry online and shipping and such is figuring itself out still, especially with all the weird laws in every single state. Ooh, whoa. There's a big write-up with this one. It's like blocked out, but it's a whole see what that's about. Let's see. Nope, forgot what I was doing. There we go. Whoa. Okay, we have the 8 thing set up. We have the 8 thing in here. We're going to pour it in the glass. Coincidentally, since we're talking about him, it's Roy's glass. I mean, you're talking about it. I'm not talking about anybody. That doesn't help. Not in my world. Bourbon Neophyte, hello. Cheers. Welcome. I shouldn't do that. I have so many whiskey samples in front of me. It's really obscene at this point. Like, I can't... Ugh. I need to do something about that. That's a terrible sound. No, I'm not going to do that again. In, out, go, now. Hurry. More. This looks like a bourbon. Spoilers. What do you think? That looks pretty bourbony to me. That, or it's a colored Scotch. Or a color-added whiskey. Can't even say Scotch. Recycled Review is great. Was that the one he did a little while ago? He was talking to me about that, actually, before he was on the stream. I think that was probably the day he recorded it. And he was just like, outdoor recording. Like, yes, outdoor recording. I've done it once, and I think I got fairly lucky with my little outdoor adventure. Maybe I'll do another one of those. Emphasis on maybe, because it requires going outside, and it's the tourist season around here. If you didn't know, Rhode Island gets tourists for its historicalness, and of course, for the boats. There are a lot of people with a lot of money who like to come here and vacation. It's awful. That's in a different town, though. I don't really worry about it. Unfortunately, that downtown area has a really nice whiskey bar, which is going to be packed for quite a while. Get that bubble out of there. There we go. All right, so we're looking at the color here. Tobias, I'm in Rhode Island. That's what I was talking about, Rhode Island. I live on the border of Rhode Island and Massachusetts. Rhode Island, which is not New York, is the smallest state in the, I was going to say in the Union, in the United States. I think Hawaii is pretty small too, but it might be bigger. Probably is, with all the islands packed together in one. So here we go. Our initial feeling is bourbon or blatantly over-dyed Scotch. We'll find out with the nose here. Or, you know, I keep forgetting what I say because I say it naturally, and then if I try to think of what I'm supposed to say, which is what I say naturally, I get confused. So, yeah, we begin with the nose, and then it's onto the palate. I don't know when I started saying those, but I started to repeat them enough to me going, I should probably just say that every time, shouldn't I? And technically we begin with the color, but don't pay attention to that. As far as the smelling and drinking part, that's different. That's some butterscotch right there. Oof. What are you? I'm suspicious now. I know what bourbon usually smells like, and this is Like an extreme butterscotch. Oh, Jesus, wow. It's like a candy or a dessert. Ooh, like my eyes water. It's so sweet. How does that happen? But are you a sad penguin or are you a wet penguin? Is there something I'm missing there? Already am befuddled. My brain is going to like to areas of like a world whiskey, but where? Or some kind of American malt. But also, huh? Because to look at it, that's a pretty common color I see in bourbons. And I've seen in some malt, except the malt whiskey was made in Texas. So let me show you here. That's not the right one. That does not look the right color. There we go. This is a simple view. I don't know how it's going to look because lighting and cameras and all that, but it's darker, especially in the bottle. But you get the general idea. That's around where it can be. And here's another one from the same distillery. You know, this one's a little lighter, but that's a malt. That's my thing. That's an American malt that we're looking at, which looks distinctly like a bourbon in this case. But it could have color added. But now I'm just confused as to what the heck this is. Since in my brain it's not fitting any strict category, but leaning pretty heavily to being a malt of some sort. Oh, it smells so good. It's like butterscotch sundae. Like this reminds me of the barrel pick that Irene did. And I had a few of those. Those are long gone, mind you. I think I drank 3 of them. And I think there was one for a raffle. I honestly don't remember, but it was called Butterscotch Sundae. And it was delightful. And this is reminiscent. Part of my brain is thinking, did he give me a flavored whiskey just to mess with us? Because it's that intense. I'm thinking of, what the heck's that popcorn? This popcorn with like sugar stuff all over it. It has a box. I think the box has stripes on it. Jack something. Cracker Jacks? That sounds about right, which is a weird thing because that's popcorn. Why would they call it cracker anything? Help. Chat, help. I think I know what I'm talking about. East Coast Liquor Reviews. Wow. Hi. How you doing? Sup. God, if I talked like that all the time. Alright, so the nose on this is wild. Did I click on that? I did. I still don't understand what's going on here, Zenbu. What? Penguin water drop water splash. What is happening? It could be anything. I'm looking at chat over here because this one's being slow tonight. I don't know why. But I see Tobias asking the question. Yeah, it's a blind from a personal collection. There's someone who's in the whiskey tribe / whiskey tube / whiskey community online. I don't know how to describe it. But if you look up Whiskey Tribe, you'll see Whiskey Tribe and Whiskey Vault are how I kind of tripped into whiskey. So if you want to look at that, you won't understand, but you'll get it. Anyway, community members online who are watching that same channel, connected all over the world. It's a little wild, and this is one of the peoples who gave me, who decided to curate their own advent calendar, and I can look it up on his Discord because he did this. This is the second year. Yeah, last year was the second year he did this. Totally blind, can be anything. Let's see. I think he's done Irish, Scotch. He might have done Taiwan, maybe. So they're into absolutely anything. Yeah. If it's whiskey, they probably will get it. If you look, but you can actually look back on my own videos from last year. No, the year before last year. So has it done it 3 years in a row? I can't keep track of anything anymore. Last year, I did the Flaviar one. So the year before that, yes, twice, at least twice. I think the year before I did his only. But it's a little blurry because I drink a lot of whiskey. We'll find out. You can also look back on the videos I did for this. I use the same thumbnail to make it a little easier. And I believe... Ooh, I'll have to double check that. I'll have to see if I have to put a playlist for these specifically. That way anyone who's curious about them can look at them all at once rather than having them scattered all over. Thankfully, I thought of that before I got through, all of them. But I thought I had something like that. That's something else I'm going to do and probably forget about.
What? Hey, you just gave me $10,000!
Link to Piper. Cheers. Thank you. That surprised me. That's one of the more excitable, what do I call that? Notifications? And I made that one up myself. It's from an anime called Golden Boy. You have to watch it in English because it's hilarious, and that's what he says. What you don't know is the scenario that caused him to say that. Clackum. Alright, I'm gonna drink this. It's like a butterscotch sundae. It's got vanilla, it's got butterscotch, it's got that popcorn candy. I can't think of the name of them. I think Cracker Jacks is the word that's coming to mind. Or if you think of those big, like holiday cans of, not buttered popcorn, but clearly it's had caramel or butterscotch put all over it. And you're basically eating candy at that point. Anyway, cheers everyone. Let me know what's in your glass tonight. I don't like to drink alone. I do it a lot anyway, but if I'm doing a live stream, I hope you guys are having something to drink with me. It doesn't matter what. Whiskey, water, tea, coffee, Kahlua, whatever you want. Alright, really, this is fascinating. So I got a basketball. Alright, Zebu. Caramel popcorn with peanuts. That's right. That's kind of what this is like. I haven't seen Cracker Jacks anywhere for ages. Are they still at baseball games or something? I don't know. All right. Onto the palate. Yeah. I don't even know what I own. What I say to myself when I do videos. I don't remember. What? It's not sweet on the palate. There's a little vanilla. It's very dry. It's like oak impact is just... or some kind of wood impact. I'm assuming oak. Because of what I think it is. It also was a little warm because I was holding it in my hand so long. Oh. I took a sip. I'm like, that's a different temperature than I expected. Summer fruit squash. It's like a concentrated cordial with a lot of water added. Damn. I don't even know if I've had a cordial. Oh, Roddy. I don't watch it for the quiz at the end. I do not. Once I see quiz, I go, the part of my brain that just loves to tell me how much I'm a failure. I don't want to give it any more fuel. Thank you very much. No quizzes. Thank you. No, I'd rather not. All right. The proof feels kind of high too. Codis Duron. Style of wine right up my alley. Then, but someday we got to go to Newport Vineyards. I don't know if you'd love their stuff. It's just a place I'm aware of. My brother used to work there. It's how he got into wine stuff. It's a really nice vineyard in general. But But you gotta pick a right time. Right now, summer is very busy for them, so it'd have to be during the week, where it'd be a little less crazy. Oh, Tobias, damn. Not working tomorrow. Nipping Kilhoman 100% Isla. Ooh, I've heard that's a good one. I feel like I've had it. I always want to say Kilhoman. I resisted that time. I don't even know if that's how you actually pronounce it. Kilhoman? Is that it? Ugh. Roy knows how to pronunciate things. 1 a.m. You must be on the other side of the water, yeah? United States-wise. So I'm thinking East Coast, and I know Roy, Aquavite, and all of them. Right now, you must be further east than that. Because Scotland would be about midnight, and if you're at past 1, that means you're just a little farther east. Tobias, where are you? What part of the globe? Norway! Norway, yes! I love it when other people from other countries find this channel, somehow. It's amazing. I now can talk to and interact with people all over the globe. Do you have any idea how wild that is? It seems like such a simple thing, but I know people in Australia and Scotland, Canada. I mean, that's just... Anyway. Where else? I used to know someone in Mexico, but she's moving. I'm trying to think. There are others. Oh, New Zealand, yeah. The Aussies are sleeping, yes. There's one who's up and live early in the morning for me. I glanced in on his channel this morning. It's Scotch Down Under. If you ever want to check him out. His name is Ken, except it's Kin because Australia. That's a great shot. Cheers. You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to have another sip of this Hold My Palate because this is weird. Weird in a good way. Just like, I don't know what this is. It's just confusing. Ah. That's a proofy boy. Woo! Oh, I did it again. I was supposed to pour like half so I could add water. Ooh. I don't understand this one. It's a little bit sweet and then it's like immediately dry. For the nose to be that butterscotch sweetness and the palate to be... It just sucks the moisture out of your tongue. The texture's okay, I think. It's a little hard to tell. It's like, oh, this is nice. Oh god, the proof, why? Huh. Because those 410 in quiz a couple times and as high as 1110. The wins make the losses bearable. I mean, if my brain worked that way, it would be awesome. I've done them a few times. I do fine. I don't know enough. One thing I have in mind. I have to remember to tell Roy this. You know what? I'm going to tell him now. If I can. Where is it? He's fast asleep, I hope. But he is also... Is he on his summer break? I believe he is. I haven't seen him doing stuff. So, there, that's off and away. Good. That feels weird, doesn't it? Like, let me send a message to the Aquavite. That feels weird. But that was to remind myself. For those who don't know, Tobias, I assume you're new. But I'll break out the big guns. So over here in the States, I did the thing, and fine, be that way. And I became a whiskey sommelier, which means I have this thing. Woo. I'm a professional. If it actually wants to focus. It does say whiskey sommelier. And it's very heavy. Ugh. I definitely look like a professional with the Superman shirt on. But anyway, that's the thing I did, and there are certain levels. This indicates level 2. And there are 4 levels. Hopefully, maybe someday. I know it wasn't that bad. It's mostly like a half vacation, half study. It's at Wizard Academy. No joke, it is. Oh, that's right. I know someone in... Oh, God, not China. Where the hell is it? That's Super Som. Yes, that's right, Mr. Great Shot. Exactly. But look up Wizard Academy in Austin, Texas. And look up their whiskey Som courses. It's not super hard. I mean, it's not easy. But there is it's like a 2-day course. Like, all day. From morning to dinner kind of thing. So you get up, you grab yourself breakfast, you go down to the tower, you study and talk, well, not study, but you have classes, like 2 or 3 or 4 in one day. And you have lunch in between. They serve your lunch, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you do it again the next day. And at the end, there's a quiz. And either you pass or you fail. It's hard to fail because they give you, at least for Psalm 1 and Psalm 2, you just take notes. You can use those during the quiz, which helps. I don't know how to take notes. I don't know when, so I'm just like jotting everything down as fast as I can. Just gone. Did he? Here's the thing, in my defense. Thursday at 4:45 p.m., which is my time in the East Coast, and his time over on the other side of the water, I am literally going to be somewhere else every week now. I go to exercise at like exactly 4:45 p.m. So I miss it all the time now. I try to pop in every once in a while. I think I popped in last week. No, the week before last week now, because the class was canceled. The instructor was ill. The coach? Ugh. Exactly. I was one of those people who stumbled upon Whiskey Tribe early on, years and years ago now. Rex and Daniel ended up coming to Rhode Island, like landing here, and going to Connecticut to visit Irene Tan's store. Irene Tan, who's now doing blendings for their distillery at Crowded Barrel. And that was kind of like a meeting of the minds, like one of those weird events that you don't realize is very important to the rest of your life until much later. For me, it solidified the fact that I should make a Whiskey Tube channel and stick with it and look into becoming a whiskey som, which I did. And then 2 other people who were also at this event, Irene Tan's store opening event, is what it was unofficially. Well, no, officially it was. What was my point? Yeah, so I met another som, Cliff. I don't think he's here today. I haven't seen his name. But Cliff, who's a whiskey som, I met him. I met Rex and Daniel in person at the same time. I met Irene Tan at the same time. And I met 2 other people who are locals who ended up opening their own distillery in the area. They're actually in Rhode Island now. They just finally gotten their distillery moved. So it was in Massachusetts. They moved it to Rhode Island. It took forever because laws. It's wild. Like that. Like one little incident, one little meeting of all these people at one point in time. In 2019. So it was nice to have something to focus on after that. I think I became a whiskey som officially in 2021. Or was it 2022? Must have been 2022. Because then 2023 was last year. And that was when I got Som 2. I think it's really hard to remember anything, man. I don't even know. But anyway, that's the abbreviated version of the past 4 or 5 years of my life. And how we got to where we are now. Oh yes, thank you, Steam Elements. Please. I gotta click the thing. Tell all your friends. Force them to subscribe. Don't do that. I am slowly working my way to 1,000 subscribers. Pre and post COVID, yes, before the pandemic. Right, it was weird. It was really weird. I think I met them. The event was in October or November. I think it was October, maybe. I know it was chilly. I had my big coat on. I have a picture and everything. Oh, it's at if you watch the intro to any of my videos, you'll see me without a mustache. and you'll see Rex and Daniel with me. That was 2019. 2020, of course, everyone stopped shaving and getting haircuts. And then I like to tell people as a joke. I got into whiskey and started drinking it, and this happened. Be careful. It's dangerous stuff. A little leathery. And almost tobacco-y. Like sweet tobacco. Ooh. God, that proof is crazy. It's more than 50%. I think it's creeping on 60, honestly. And it's a little spicy. A little spicy boy. But not too bad. I think just it sitting in the glass for as long as it has helped it cool off a bit. Yikes. Is it normally your chest that it says it puts hairs on? Yes. I have plenty of that here, though. Yeah, let me show you. No. That's a different thing entirely. But, yeah, no, it happened here for me. And the funniest part about all of it, I don't believe in fate. I don't believe in preordained BS. But I do find things funny. In this case, me as a young boy, teenager, decided for my high school picture, you know, to put in the yearbook, you get your high school graduating senior picture, so it's all professionally done and stuff. But I just had like a little bit of hair on my upper lip then. There was absolutely no rational reason for me doing it. There was no reason other than I thought it was a little funny. That was it. I thought it'd be funny to have like these little teenage, barely mustache thing for my senior picture. And then I got rid of it. As soon as that picture was done, I got rid of it. Preordained. That's hilarious. All right, let's find out what this is, shall we? It's been just over 30 minutes. Usually I take less time than this, but I've been storytelling and explaining the past, and if I think about it too hard, it's really wild. So, I will be going to the Bastards Ball in October. So if anyone else who goes to the Bastards Ball, then you'll probably see me there in one way or another. I'll probably be not working, but I'll be volunteering at the Wizard's Tower. We'll see. We'll see. It depends. So, I'm going to find out what this is. There's no Whiskey Tube reviews for this, but there's someone on the Discord who can share the tasting notes. I wonder if it's his bottle. Or maybe they both got one. So that makes it even more curious. Like, there have been no other whiskey channels that have reviewed this whiskey. And that's odd. Only University. Oh, really? That's wild. I mean, I don't know. I had the thought recently. It was... Oh, yeah. Weird. Okay, I like anime, to get that out of the way. But I was watching an anime recently where they had talked about a yearbook. And I thought, well, that's odd. I didn't think they did that kind of thing over there. Or I don't know. I'm not cultured. So I heard them talk about it, and immediately was like, oh, I have yearbooks. I have a few. I have like middle school and high school. 2 from high school, 1 from middle school, at least. And the middle school one is black and white. I think there are a few pages that are in color, but oof. Anyhow, point is, I then thought, do they even do that anymore? Like, I'm so far removed from my high school days, and the digital age took over in between all this time. I'm thinking, do they actually make physical yearbooks anymore? Huh, they do. At least that's what the internet told me, so I'll believe it. Alright, let's find out what this is, shall we? I got one more sip. It's got a little bit of coffee grounds. So considering that butterscotch nose, it's wild that I'm getting leather, sweet tobacco, and coffee grounds in this. So what the heck are we dealing with here? That's hilarious. Remember how I said I don't believe in fate or preordained stuff, right? Well, you'll be happy to know I was correct in it being an American something or other. Whew, that would explain why this is so spicy. Let me see here. You'll get it in a minute. Hold on. I can't show you this picture easily, but I can at least talk about it. It's complicated. It's just a picture of a bottle. I'm looking at it here. This is Cedar Ridge American Single Malt Whiskey. Hey! Guess who was leaning towards it being a American malt right at the start? Oof! Damn. Alright, this is Cedar... the preordained weirdness is that I just did a video about Cedar Ridge this past week. Ah! Or was it the week before? Oh man, I can't keep track of time. Hold on. Is this one? Weird. So Cedar Ridge American Single Malt, that's not a single malt, that's a bourbon. The quintessential single cask, selected by master blender Murphy Quint. First fill sherry cask finished. Alright. That's some crazy sherry influence, whatever that is. I didn't get the fruits I expect from it. It was just dense. And I'm just glad that I was leaning towards American malt, because the color and the nose wasn't quite jiving with what I'm used to as far as malts go. Thinking of Irish and Scotch. This is cask number SH-2203. So that's what, March 2022 is my best guess. And this is 56.3%. So that explains that. That was close. It was leaning towards 60%. What a spicy one. Spicy, spicy. Alright, I gotta make sure chat isn't doing anything. The answer is not bourbon. It's a malt. It's American single malt. Actually, hold on. I said single malt, and that might be a lie. Yeah. It's a Cedar Ridge, which is a Iowa? My memory's garbage, for the record. Oh, you know what? I didn't turn the light on. I forget that. An Iowa bourbon whiskey. Yeah, Iowa is in Cedar. Cedar Ridge is in Iowa. But Cedar Ridge is a distillery in Iowa. This is their American single malt whiskey. It's called the Quintessential, and this is a single cask release of theirs. It says of Iowa right there, but it's just tiny. Selected by the master blender, Murphy Quint. And it says it was first filled sherry, cask finished. 56.3% ABV. That's wild. It's a malt. It's an American single malt. Which is what I was leaning towards, surprisingly. Gotta give myself some credit where credit is due. I'm a whiskey somm, damn it. Damn it. Alright, there's a write-up here too. I want to see what this is about. Oh, it's a lot of words. Oh, I'm gonna have to... Will you get over it? Let's see. Oh, it's a winery too. I forgot about that. Alright, this is a whole write-up. I'm gonna try to say the whole thing and not hurt myself. Woo! Ha-cha-cha-cha. I'm going to try to abridge this where I can. Cedar Ridge Winery and Distillery, Swisher, Iowa, S-W-I-S-H-E-R. Do-do-do-do. La-la-la-la. Words. This particular bottle, part of the quintessential single cask from Murphy Quint, a head distiller, back before 2020 happened. Back before 2020 happened, Cedar Ridge would release single malts under their silver label lineup. These releases were either blends or single casks that were special. Some of them were special finishing casks, like an Oktoberfest finish. Oh, that sounds fun. Or even their chocolate cherry malt. Woof. When COVID happened, they had to scrap the idea of any special releases. After many people requested they do more releases, they finally came out with their first release. This is a double pot distilled malt first aged in estate bourbon barrels, then transferred to a first fill Then transferred to the first fill sweet Amontillado sherry casks that once held sherry for anywhere between 20 and 50 years. Okay. That explains a lot right there. No wonder it was so like, whoa. This malt is approximately 6 years old. For anyone that knows the head distiller at Cedar Ridge, Murphy is a sherry ahooer. This is his favorite barrel and his favorite finish from the property. Anyone here that enjoys wine-finished whiskey, such as port and sherry finish, this is a distillery that you will love. On the nose, it's fruity, it's oaky and dense. I got butterscotch. Taste, you can really get the sherry along with this malty, dense, lingering finish that coats your palate. Giving it a little bit of water to open up the finishing cask. Wants the whiskey to be cask strength, but Cedar Ridge usually likes to proof down their malts because, in their opinion, you get a lot more from the cask at 46 to 50% ABV range. I didn't know that. I didn't know they actually were like, you should put water in it. But that gives me a reason to try this one behind me, adding some water to it. Well, there you go. That was nice of him. Again, there are no other Whiskey Tube videos at the point in time that this was done or posted. Talk about it. That's wild. Papa KillCo, hi Dad. Tobias, Papa KillCo is my father. Mama KillCo will show up later, is also my mother. It's easy to recognize. So it is malt because it didn't go into first fill American oak, or because it is 51% plus corn spirit. If it's 51% corn, it's a bourbon. In this case, I assume they use just malt because it's a single malt. And that's usually what that means. If my memory works as it should, which generally doesn't. But that is my understanding. It's an American single malt, finished in bourbon and then sherry. Is what I'm understanding. And I have trouble understanding anything. Yeah. Barley. Malt. Barley. Yes. There's the problem with other countries. It's like, I know what I'm saying, but do you know what I mean? Yes, barley. The single grain they used was barley, which is often just said malt in Scotland, and I guess that just carried over to the United States. It's enjoyable, but it's definitely not my kind of whiskey. It's not bad, it's just very, very dense. Like, I bet there are people I know who would enjoy this kind of thing. Dang. All right. I'm going to put a couple glasses of water in this. Drops of water. This is just tap water, mind you. I've yet to get the good stuff. Is there water in here? There's not. I'm like, I need to get the water. There's nothing in here. Ugh. I can see that the water's been accumulating stuff in there. Gross. Tap water, yay. You don't really know what's in it. Drink it anyway. Thankfully, I have my water bottle here, so. 1, 2. Here we go. Mind me. Oh, stay. Yeah. All right, I've added some water to it. Not much, but it is less than it was before, so we'll see. This is about 1 ounce, if I remember correctly. Or maybe 1.5, I forget. Either way. But you can tell, I mean, just that color is an indicator of what the climate in America can do to any kind of distilled spirit. Texas in particular is pretty brutal. This is 6 years, 6. And in Scotland, you could do 12, 13, and it would still remain very, very light. To the point where they add coloring. Alright, the nose isn't as butterscotch sweet to me now. I often wonder if I've been influenced by knowing what it is afterwards. because there's more of a plum. I'm trying to think of a very dense, dark fruit, and with sherry influence, that makes sense. Oof, ah. Went in too deep. All right. That's surprising. Just 2 drops of water calmed it down a hell of a lot. And makes it more enjoyable for me. Because really, the punch of it was getting in the way of me getting anything from it. It's still fairly simple to my palate. As far as, like, leathery. That's kind of the main thing, because it dries my tongue out so fast. Ah. This is why I have this automatic thing, because I forget. But it reminds me to click on this thing. Yay. Like and subscribe. Blah. Yeah. It's dense dried fruit. Just what you'd expect from some sherries. Like that, considering how old those sherry barrels were. Hot damn. No wonder it was such a crazy impact. Can you imagine? 20 what was it, 20 or 50 years? That's insane. Anywhere between 20 and 50 years for sherry. They do some wild stuff with sherry, don't they? Even at 20 years, like being the shortest amount of time, the kind of impact that would have, like the whatever barrel it was in, I assume oak, but I don't know enough about sherry. Damn. Well, it was funny at first. Well, what I was thinking in my head and going, well, it's supposed to be whiskey, so I hope not. But part of me thought it was maybe a brandy. I was starting to think it was some other distilled spirit because of how wild it was. And I've had a couple of brandies now. I'd like to have more to really find out if I'm getting a very specific brandy note. I wasn't getting that in here, but it was certainly making me think of it just because of how dense it is and how much that sherry impact must have done its thing to this malt. Good grief. I'm still dumbfounded though at the coincidence of this being a Cedar Ridge whiskey when just last week I did a video on a Cedar Ridge bottle. Do you understand how wild that is? What are the odds? You know, what are the odds that just last week the video for Cedar Ridge went live, and I haven't been doing enough sample Sundays or blind samples recently. They're kind of sporadic, so it happening to line up the way it did is mildly disturbing. To what degree do you feel the wood extract, like the grain of it? Honestly, like I said, I couldn't even tell this is a malt. I had no idea. I assumed, and I got it right, thankfully. But whatever the wood and the sherry did to this is very present. Like I've had certain malts, like again, I'll go with American ones. Coincidentally, though, this one is much lighter. This is from Texas. This is a triple distilled single malt, so it's basically an Irish style. But it looks like that. You know, it's not quite as dark as this one is. Hell, anything. It could actually be closer to the color, really. I mean, look. Woo! It's hard to tell light reflecting weirdness, but this one's certainly a little darker. Can't tell as easily now. The problem with this, not problem, but the lack of information about how long they stored the distilled spirit in a bourbon barrel. I want to make sure I understand this properly, or try to understand this properly. Da 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 da. Words, words, words. I have to like filter through all this. It's like a wall of text. Malt is approximately 6 years old, so we have that. Where did he say that? I said all these words and I can't find it. Double pot stilled malt, aged in estate bourbon barrels, then transferred to first fill sweet Amontillado, like the cask of Amontillado from Poe. Amontillado, I don't know what that means, but it sounds important. It's a place, maybe, or a vineyard. I have no idea. That once held sherry from anywhere between 20 to 50 years. The only thing that's making my brain go is it was aged in bourbon barrels. Does that mean it was aged in new wood, or does that mean it was aged in used bourbon barrels? Like there had been bourbon in it, they put this in it, and then there's a lack of information about how long each was in each. Like was it in 5 years in a bourbon, and then 1 year in a sherry, or I have no idea. Either way, I have no idea. If there was any bourbon impact on this, it's negligible. Negligible. And whatever the sherry cast did is insane. Like it just went. Hello, single malt. How are you? We're friends now. Mike Franken, good evening. You missed all the weirdness. Warm climate barrel maturation is the intensity of the wood grain. Tannins really attack the proteins in them. Yeah. I've gotten bourbons like what you're talking about, and that's what I meant with this kind of whiskey. Because it seems like there was a lot of barrel impact. It dries my tongue out a lot. And it's not as sweet as I prefer. It's still nice. It's still enjoyable. But I'm thinking specifically of a bourbon called Knob Creek. It's not really a sweet bourbon to me. And it dries out my tongue almost every time. I have some of them, so I do enjoy them. I like the proof they're at. They're usually 120 or 60% ABV. That's nice. And I think I would use it usually in some kind of cocktail, and rarely would I have it neat. Just because, well, it's not a sweet bourbon. I like sweet bourbons. Creme brulee is what I prefer my bourbons to lean towards, or at least in that general area. Sweet dessert, like dark chocolate and caramel kind of thing. I'd love that. Oof. How dare you go outside? Second class of sherry. All right. Oh wait, we got a bunch of sherry info here. One of the 6 or 7 varieties of sherry. Fino to PX. Okay. Second group. That's caramelized and oloroso. Maybe that's what whew. This might be my first direct, or at least I know for sure because I was told through what this is, Amontillado sherry of any sort. I've had PX finish. I don't know if I've had Fino. Maybe. I've had port. I know it's probably not sherry, that's wine, isn't it? Someday I'm going to broaden my horizons and figure out what things are before I start talking about them. Either way, excellent that this happened. Iowa bourbon for the video last week, and now Iowa malt. Same distillery. Again, the odds of this happening are wild. Absolutely wild. And it's almost appropriate that he used Roy's glass, because it is a malt. It's a single malt. It's just from around here, not Scotland. I like it better with 2 drops of water. You would think that didn't really do anything, but it calmed it down. It's not as dry. It's still a creeping dryness. Good grief. Not as leathery. A little sweeter. There's a little bit of a, like a hint of, what is that? I'd like to see blackberry, but I kind of like blackberries. You know, honestly, it's raisin. Come to think about it, we're talking about like sherry and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is like dried raisins. I don't particularly like raisins that much. I don't mind them as much as I used to when I was younger, because palate change and such. I wouldn't eat a bunch of them like as is. I wouldn't like that. I do like craisins, dried cranberries, but these are definitely more like dried raisins, or like raisins. So raisins and leather are what we're leaving off with here. Yeah, that coffee taste is sweetened up a little. It's like someone added a little bit of sugar. Interesting. Again, wild. Mine mostly, well, this is definitely an experience in itself, and I would tell anyone to try this if you could, just because of how singular it is. As far as like what I've had before, this really confused me, and I'm genuinely surprised that I was able to even get in close with saying single malt in America. That was funny. It was me like, yes, there it is, got it, yay! I'm a professional. That's what my brain's thinking right now. It's like, lucky gosh. I'm like, I know. You don't need to tell me. Woo! But the fact that it's an Iowa bourbon is hilarious. Or Iowa malt. And I just had an Iowa bourbon. Just did the video. It went live last week. You can watch it. Similar. Like really dense. Really dense stuff. Maybe that's their thing. Maybe they're leaning towards that kind of not so sweet, rough and tumble sort of bourbon. Going around like the Knob Creek category or style. Absolutely wild. I certainly enjoyed this. Either way. I'm also looking forward to the rest of these. It's when I do these live streams that I realize how much I enjoy blinds. Just the guesswork and the surprise. You know, the surprise at the end of going like, well, what is it? Oh my gosh, it's that. I've had some really good ones. Like ones I've had before. Ones I've literally enjoyed, like this. Filey Bay? Filey Bay? I had one of these samples was that. And I have tried that whiskey before. That's the bottle I have. I haven't opened it or done the video yet, but it's on the list. Really good stuff. But the humor of trying it blind and be like, I really like this. This seems super familiar. Finding out it's that. Love that kind of stuff. Similar with this scenario. I'd never had their malt before, so again, shot in the dark almost. That I even got in the category of American malt. But glad I did. Because I don't know what else it could have been other than some other country that I've not had stuff from more than a couple times at most. My brain is just like, why? Oh, dude, okay, there, that's why. I need to have dinner. What a nice treat this was. I'll be back here next Friday, I think. Possibly gaming streams. Everything's random now. Whiskey to be had. This week's video, I have no idea. We'll find out soon. But as always, live long and prosper. Don't forget to be awesome. And I will see you out there. Hey, thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.